All right, we are back.
Yes, we are back. We are back with Chakra has very different lighting.
Yes, you do.
Candle time is over. You can see a bit of Chakra's rather chaotic altar at the back. And the Chakra has decked up her room in yellow for the auspicious day.
Yes.
And
Yellow is a
Chakra
very
has,
beautiful color.
those who have seen our episode, Stoned, which is the third episode of the Alienation series, you'll remember the stone.
Yes.
The stone. The stone.
Yes, I remember the stone.
This is the foundation stone of Project HearthFire.
Absolutely.
Now, I will show you a couple of other very important stones, which all these, I mean, I think I'm going in reverse order, because I'm starting with maybe the latest. This is one of the latest things I picked up.
Okay.
This first, what I decided was the foundation stone, because I picked it up soon after I did the series. I mean, I did the brainstorm and started building those 33 essays, which I spoke about in part 1. I started weaving them into a story. And
Right.
the basics of the story are that a group of teachers, students, and some others who have come all the way from India to participate, gather around at a fireplace. There's a rug on the floor. They have hot chocolate. They have a few nice things to eat, few homemade goodies. And they have the professors and the students. And the conversation centers around the contents of those essays. The essays which were replies to the student questions.
Yes, I remember, but
you
then
get
again,
the mental picture.
Scenario, yeah, I get the mental picture of it.
I've written about it in 2 or 3 blog posts. So if you check out the posts, I'll put the link also here so that people can check them out.
Please do.
And of course, this for once is not a movie, but I mean, it all takes place. It's about people and ideas and interactions between people, and how the different people respond to this situation of all being thrown together. So you see, once again, you see it's the spider alien scenario.
Exactly. I mean, this reminds me of a movie. It's also it's a setup like this. It's a conversation-based movie. I don't know. Have you seen The Man from Earth? Have you seen that movie?
The Man from
Earth.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a conversation. It's basically a conversation, and it's a surreal conversation.
Okay. So
if I get the movie, I'll surely send it to you.
Yes, I would love to have it.
One of my favorite movies.
And there's another movie you're supposed to send me on the brain's capacity.
Yes, that was Lucy. Yes.
Yeah, Lucy. Now that gives me a lot of movies to watch and work with. And anyway, to come back to all these objects, I showed the stone. Now I'm showing you another stone. Take a look at this. This is...
It looks like a human figure.
It is a human figure. It is a representation of a human figure. This is called an Inukshuk.
It's a Inukshuk.
Inukshuk. Now,
Inukshuk. Okay.
This is representative of a tribe in the icebound regions of the North American continent. Alaska.
Okay. Alaska. Okay.
Yes. Right. And this tribe called the Inuit. I don't know just how to pronounce that word. Inuit.
Inuit.
Yes.
I don't know. Probably.
And they have this is built on their practice of leaving a marker in the course of their journeys.
Right.
You see,
Right. Yes.
The Western approach is you have milestones, numbers, you measure them 5 miles, 10
Yes.
miles, 15 miles.
Yes.
You lay
Yes.
down those milestones and you assess your journey against those milestones. These people keep moving, and when they come to a place which is important in their journey, they put down one of these, which is really made of a pile of stones.
That's so beautiful.
And
That's a
it indicates a point, a marker in their journey, and something which may help a person who comes after. So when you see
wow.
one of these objects, you know there's
Yeah.
something to look for in that. So look for it. It may be food, a source of food. It may be a source of water. I mean, look from the tribal perspective. Look from the standpoint of a primitive person and
I
transpose
mean,
this into the journey of, say, Chakratita. This actually represents the kind of journeys we were talking about.
I wonder what this particular stone represented. I mean, who did it represent in the first
This
place? Or
represented my beloved friend Colleen Fairclough, who
okay,
has visited India as a client,
okay,
become my client on Chakratita. I mean, she has
hmm,
visited India as many people's clients and also as a visitor because this is her homeland. She resides in Canada. She's a Canadian citizen. She's Indian at heart. Migrated, family migrated when she was around 12 or 13. So no
okay.
choice in that matter.
No.
But well, those who migrate, they find their lives, they build their lives, they stay. But this very,
Yes,
very strong pull towards the motherland has been there with her.
right,
And when she visited
right.
me, she brought this and gifted it to me. And I
Wow.
placed it in my altar. She saw the altar and she saw that I had placed it in my altar. So you see, this stone means I was here. It means someone was here. So now, if you attach an identity to that someone, for me, it means Colleen was here. So
This is a reminder
this for me
that you met that
represents
person. Yes.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
For
It
me,
is.
it
It's very
represents
beautiful.
the whole Chakratita leg of my journey in life. And
See,
it's
now you're adding up to, initially this stone probably represented her experience, and it was meant to, let's say, uh, personify
Mhm.
her presence in
Mm.
your life. But then again, when it tangled with your life and your history, it became not just her experience, but your experience with her as well.
Yes,
I
my
mean,
experience
it
with
keeps
her,
growing.
our shared experience, her
Yes,
experiences in the world are all written into this.
absolutely,
So someone
absolutely.
was here means that someone carrying their history, their heritage, their adventures, their memories, lays down a stone somewhere along their journey to let somebody know that they were traveling that path.
So, did you give something back to her? I mean, any memento or anything?
Well, you know me, the intangible and the ephemeral. So what I gifted her was halwa and roses.
No,
So
the thing that I
when I
was
visit
about to
her
say
in
is,
Canada, I will definitely gift her something which is similar, which says I was here,
yeah, absolutely, yes,
and it will
yes.
be something Indian and very typical of India would be a lamp because we specialize in all kinds of lights and lamps. As you can see, our most popular festival abroad, though we have so many festivals, is Diwali. And
Yes,
Deepavali means a row of lamps. And it
yes,
symbolizes the concept that you light one lamp from another.
Absolutely. That's what we
It
do,
is a
no?
light
In
chain
the
that goes around the world. So you see, and this is why
yes,
this
yes.
festival has so much appeal, and also has so much appeal because it can be as religious as you wish, but it can be as secular as you wish. Like
Yes, definitely.
in my home, it is completely secular. It is just light, the celebration of light.
Absolutely.
There's no
Absolutely.
puja, no gods worshipped, nothing. It is totally a
I
celebration.
mean, you celebrate it just the way you want it.
Of
I
course,
mean,
I
uh,
celebrate Kali Puja. That is something personal. And
absolutely.
my mother
I
sort of
think
got the bug from me.
I think every ritual should be very personal, you know.
Absolutely.
Uh,
You see, my father
if
loved Kali, but he never celebrated Kali Puja.
yeah, I mean, if it's not very personal to you, then what's even the point of celebrating? It should be very personal to you.
Mhm.
It's not
You see, yes, it should be very personal. And I'm sure
absolutely.
you have such personal rituals in your life, which maybe you have not opened up on.
Yeah, I certainly do. Yes, everybody does. I mean, there are things that that
Louder, Roger.
become very personal.
Louder, louder.
Yeah. Is it audible?
Yes, it is.
Ah, okay. So yeah, that's very true. That I certainly do have. Perhaps I have a few things that I do intentionally or unintentionally. I don't know. Probably they are my set of rituals, as
Mm,
I
mm,
like to say. You know, you create your own omens.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah. So yeah, ritual should be very personal. I mean, it could be as as simple as going out for a dinner, to as complex as chanting pages of mantras. It could be anything in
It could
between.
be
And
writing a song
yeah, it could be writing a
and
song. It could be
dedicating it to
anything.
someone. It's something like
Absolutely.
that.
Just what's important it must be very personal. It should have a meaning in your life. It should have a,
Yes.
you know,
Now you
yeah,
see, from the personal, we also go to the shared. This is shared by me and
absolutely.
Colleen. It
Yes,
means
yes,
some part of it means the same to me and Colleen. Some parts of it mean
yes,
something different. She has left it here, saying I was here. Now,
yes,
from
yes.
that is a marker from which I learn a lot of things. So I use that in my way. I interpret in my way and learn.
Yeah,
I learn, I grow. The
this is
fact she gave it to me and the fact that I keep reminding her of it also is part of her growth. It connects her. Yes, I was in India. I was in Chakra's house. I had halwa
yes.
in Chakra's house. Chakra gave
I
me,
mean, it
I still feel the scent of those roses. And this is a marker of that that complete experience. And
right,
what
right.
this experience still has the potential to grow into. So, I have a way of shifting this around in different spots of my altar depending on where my mood takes me. It doesn't always sit in the same place. Isn't that interesting? So to
It
the
is
foundation stone. Well, just give me a minute. I have a feeling there could be some water. So,
okay. Okay, sure.
here we are. You there, Roger? Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of water, we will move on to
Hmm.
the next thing. Well, this time I'm not going in reverse order because wherever we are, whether we are stationed somewhere or we are on the move, we need water.
Absolutely.
We, in sometime in 1989, thanks to a lot of, that's it, that's the way, that's the way, that's the way. Cheers. That's the way. We don't need
Cheers.
water and we must. And a friend, a recent friend of mine who has enriched my life a lot, has Mo Priya, if you're listening to this, Meow Priya, this is for you. Roger and I both have to tank up on gallons of water. And when we have the water, we make an affirmation. So, Roger, when you drink that water, make an affirmation. You don't have to
Absolutely.
share your affirmation with the audience, but make that affirmation. And with you, I will drink some water and make my affirmation.
For sure.
Well, thanks to the beloved neighbors. I come back to the beloved neighbors. We went through a major water crisis in 1989, where our entire water supply literally went into extinction for 3 to 4 months. And we had to take some drastic steps to restore it, because the whole situation was turning into an ugly misunderstanding with a neighbor who was a very dear friend. And that was a sort of beginning of the end of the friendship.
Right.
Which is, again, as I see, one of those ancestral patterns, that when that happens, we are never able to repair this. Yet everything is possible to repair because we are never not healing. So we have to find a way of repairing that. And when, in the midst of that distress, that distress was acute. I would be away at work for the god awful corporate. My parents have actually carried water up 2 flights of stairs in their late 60s and their mid 70s from the corporation tap downstairs. And not a soul offered to even help them. These are sometimes the situations that every family goes through, and that's also part of their heritage. But I would not like any family to go through this.
Neither would I.
Definitely. And water has a way of, water is double-edged. In my life, either there's no water or the damn water is leaking on my head. So it's like when our water supply was finally restored, we happened to find this beautiful god, this beautiful green Ganesh. Supposed to be a stone called serpentine. So soon after the water was restored, there was some festival, possibly the Ganesh Chaturthi festival, or there was some auspicious day. It was a little before Puja, and we decided. On an impulse, we saw this guy, and we purchased him. The price is still written at the back. It's 83 rupees. And I don't know what it will cost now. And this beautiful green Ganesh, we named him the Tanni Pillayar. Pillayar is Ganesh in Tamil.
Okay.
It means the son. Pillai is son, child.
Okay.
Pillayar, the respected child. The child of Shiva and Parvati, no? So the child god, so to say. So as we worship the parents as gods, this is the child of those parents. So Tanni is water. So we gave him this name, and we set him up for a while in the altar, and we celebrated the re-entry of water, and we called a kind of truce with all the warring neighbors. Truce really turned into, also became a sort of peace for a long time to come, till the place started leaking, and that led to another hullabaloo, but of that later. And we decided that he was our mascot for water. So the other day I said, well, we are celebrating today, and everyone is going to do a Ganesh Puja today, regardless. Even the atheists will line up their Ganesh and open their accounts with him as the mascot. So here he comes, so that we have abundant water in this home, and abundant water in the right place, not leaking through the roof, but in the water tank. So that's one icon, more stone for you. Now you see there's one more stone, and then I will celebrate with kheer. See him.
All right. Another Ganesh.
Yes, he's a gift
Okay.
from a friend who came from Bhubaneswar. A very dear
Okay.
friend
All right.
who gifted this to us and said, do you like him? Do you like him? And he's pretty heavy. I can barely lift him up. He's also one of those, this is all Odisha stoneware, so it's and intricately carved, if you notice.
It's very, very beautifully carved. Yes.
Yes. And they have different personalities. I think their trunks go in opposite ways.
Yes.
And we decided we were facing a lot of structural problems, structural issues around that time here. And that is when enemies were trying to claim the home for them, claim the home and threaten my existence. And, all the litigation, the cases I'm in. And we decided, okay, this guy is going to be our mascot and our guardian of the structure and the stability of the house as well as the home. So really the solid and the fluid aspects of Project HearthFire. Now that we have spoken about light,
Yes.
we are speaking about water, we are speaking about earth.
Yes, we are speaking about all the
We're
elements
looking at all the elements that really make up our heritage.
Yes. Yes.
So this is him. So I thought I would introduce these people. And I also want to introduce the tree, which we will do in part 3, because I don't know how much time we have on part 2. But I want to tell you that all heritage need not be valuable or beautiful. This is a very ordinary bowl, which is part of a dinner, the small dinner set for 2, which came with a few plates and spoons and bowls, bought at some sale. And my mother and I shared some of our last dinners together on this.
See, that's what makes it beautiful, no?
You see, that makes it heritage.
Yes, it does.
And this is kheer, which I made yesterday for Puttandu. And I have chilled it nicely. And Roger, I wish I could give it to you, but I'm eating it for you. So this is my Novovarsha Paish.
Absolutely.
And may everyone, Project HearthFire is about lighting all hearthfires. It's about provision. So this has the source of all that provision here. What comes from a farm, the grain, the milk, whatever else you want to put in it, the fruits. And this
certainly does.
This is again another symbol. And from all this, I'm trying to tell you a story. I'm trying to give you a message. To keep any home going, you need a whole lot of people. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes, It does.
Sometimes it takes a determined woman to raise a village.
Yes.
So Project HearthFire is about this determined woman trying to bring together so many people who could very well be earning their living by helping me to restore this home, to restore it to a glory beyond what it ever had, and leave it as a
To one
legacy for the
flame to
future.
another. Yes.
Because so many people, I mean, I've been working out what it actually takes, the brass tacks of Project Hearthfire. And it's about all these ordinary people putting their sweat, their labor, and their creativity into making this happen. As I say,
Absolutely.
the silacious
Absolutely.
of the world, the mistries, the plumbers,
Yes.
the artisans,
Absolutely.
the masons, the carpenters, the restorers, the artists, at so many levels, from the very basic of, just maybe chipping away old plaster to doing a wonderful piece of artwork, restoring a piece of finely crafted furniture. What are you seeing here? You're seeing healing through creative resources.
Absolutely.
So that again is the essential spirit of Project Hearthfire, which I didn't realize when I would go Project Hearthfire. It was kind of a very limited and what shall I say? Limited and self-limiting. And it suddenly stretched
So
and
that's how it
expanded itself to a whole lot of things.
that's how it starts. No, it's a seed in the
Hmm.
beginning, and then it
Seed,
starts
a
to
seed,
sprout
a
and
seed. And then suddenly I'm finding, well, when I plant this tree, see, when I'm gone, who's there? All of you are there. You're going to be there. A
I
lot
mean,
of
yeah.
young people who are trained by the seniors, my contemporaries in all these fields, they're going to be there. There are so many lost arts, we don't even think about them, lost crafts. I mean, even look at this stone. Something rendered this stone into this state.
Yes.
I'm giving
Yes.
Roger too much to think
Abs-
about. Now, Roger, it's your turn to talk.
No, I'll
Set
ask my
my little
questions in
piece.
the in the
In
in the
fact,
in the third part.
you can ask a few questions right away.
Um, okay, when did Project Hearthfire, the idea, the inception of Project Hearthfire, where was it?
It was oddly enough in this gathering of people in Maine,
Okay, okay.
sitting on a hearth rug with a cozy fire burning,
And
and
that's the
people
beginning.
warming themselves because it's an autumn day and they're feeling the chill slightly, comforting themselves, looking at because the topics we discussed were about heritage, were about culture. So looking at all the metaphors around fire. And when we finally step out, what do we see? We see a vast stretch of water because it's a seaside cottage.
Yes.
There are trees around the cottage that are our guardians. So I feel that in many ways I was living out my yearning for all my lost homes. Because this is a home in the imagination. This house that I am writing about, which is the center of the story, doesn't actually exist. But
But yeah, it
yes, but
exists
it
in your
exists.
imagination. Yeah.
But it
Yes.
exists. And it's set in a very different place. There are all the local trees and the significance of those trees. We talk about the significance of those trees. And there is one particular tree that is a guardian of the project. That is a guardian of the home and is a sort of guardian for our meeting and are coming together on that day. So it's like a recall of how we used to come together in the good old days. As in, I don't mean good old days in that cliched way, but there are so many stories I have around ancestral homes, how we gathered there, what we did, all our tensions, how we resolved those tensions. Sometimes how we lost that fight and how the negative one, and then how we alchemized that negative into something good. You see, my mother owned a house because my grandmother died.
Right.
Because my grandmother died before the land could be registered. So it was registered in an 8-year-old's name. My mother owned that house from the time she was 8. The land was her maternal legacy, coming from her grandfather, who gifted this land to all his daughters. And then they had a portion each. And because this daughter was gone, and because it wasn't registered in her name, had it been registered in her name, her 2 heirs would have got it after her death. But because it wasn't registered in her name, my very clever great-grandfather promptly registered it in my mother's name. Woman power for you. Thanks to a man, we have woman power. Yeah. And those women all shared that estate. They had their own individual homes, but they gathered together to raise these 2 children who had lost their mother.
Right.
And it took that little village to raise all these children who were all raised together. So my mother would always say, for losing one mother, I got 3 mothers.
That's sweet. That's so sweet.
And there's a very precious person here whom I want to thank and acknowledge. And he is my grandfather. The person who was so tragically widowed when he was, how old was he in 1928? He was born in 1893. 35? Okay.
Close to that, yes, probably.
Yes. And he had these 2 little children. And he lost a 20-year-old wife. And she was the love of his life. And he was the one who made sure that this family stayed together. This family of women and their children. He and the grandfather, they were anchors really for this family. So it was like very much of a matrilineal family where these women were in charge and these men were there to support them.
Absolutely.
It's got a lot of metaphors for us also. And yes. I'll show you this because normally I don't, in a very early episode, I got on my makeup like I was in an airline. Now I have got on a chain around my neck as if I'm off to a BA buddy. But no, that's not the case. I am merely trying to acknowledge and express my gratitude for my grandfather, who gifted this to me when I was a little baby as a pair of bangles. And baby bangles we outgrow, right?
Yes.
So this was taken and made into a chain. And my biggest complaint is that I have such a big head, I have to force it over my head. Because it's a short, thick chain. And why a short, thick chain? Because this idiot will run and play somewhere and a thin chain will be broken and gone. Or a long chain will slip over her head and disappear. You know the way these elders thought.
Yes.
Elderly people had their logic. They forgot that the head grows with intellect. And this head is getting bigger and bigger because it's getting harder and harder for me to pull this chain down over my head for whatever reason. So this is just a simple chain. I mean, everybody who is anybody has one of these chains. It's not
Yes,
even any
definitely.
special design or anything. You can see
It
it.
doesn't have to be special.
But it's,
Could
I
be
don't
ordinary.
know, this symbolizes something for me. I could change
Absolutely.
it and change it into a different pattern, make a thin chain, hang lockets on it. I can fix lockets on it. There is a provision there.
Oh,
I
okay.
just have to get any locket that will fit onto it and keep changing. There has to be a snapshot, something that gets on and clamps on. And then I can put that on and wear it, wear it with different
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
lazy bones has not worked on that either. So lazy bones is, you see, if lazy bones is constantly, I mean, I'm not lazy bones at all. I'm like hyperactive because today I'm sitting here calmly and not doing anything about anything. But ideally, I should be running to see what has happened to the water. So give me another few seconds. Don't go away, Roger.
I think we have less than 2 minutes.
In
So
that case,
why don't we come back in the
we'll do that. We'll
uh
end this. We'll end this.
yes.
And what are we going to talk about in the third part? I had promised you something. The trees. Yes, the living area.
Yes.
Yes, trees.
Absolutely.
I'm going to show a picture of the tree and I'm going to show a picture of my folks. So here goes. Bye,
Absolutely.
folks.
Absolutely.